Welcome to this week's Follow-Up Friday, hosted here on the Business Owner platform. Fantastic to be hosting this here and to be chatting to you on this wonderful Friday as we look forward to Halloween. And I can't believe that we're nearly in November, but hey, we are. So for me, I'm always excited in September, October, November. For me, they are 3 great months. They're 3 great months for selling. They're 3 great months to get in front of people and actually get those deals closed. So for me, it's about creating the attention. And when you're creating that attention, be it at the start of the sales cycle or be it when you're following up, you need to keep prompting people and you need to keep creating attention. Otherwise you get lost. And in today's world, there is so much in terms of emails, phone calls, WhatsApp messages, text messages, social media posts. Everything gets lost because everyone is vying for that piece of your time where you actually look at them. So let's look at 2 or 3 ways you can get your follow-up absolutely nailed on. So email. I speak about emails a lot. I speak about email marketing. So it's really key when you've got somebody's data and you've got their email and they're happy to hear from you, do something with it. Don't just keep it held in a spreadsheet or a CRM. You need to communicate with people. They need to hear from you. If you communicate with them and they hear from you and they are paying attention, they might go, oh yeah, I need to get back to you. And that's what you're trying to do. They might even go, yes, I need to sort that out and get it bought. So that's why you do it. But let's just look at the attention seeking that you can do. Send the emails. When you're doing the emails, always make sure you've got a decent subject in there. Okay, it can't be just following up on the proposal, and it probably can't be, are you going to buy? But it can be, do you have any other questions? Ask questions. It might also be, can I help you save? Yes or no. I know it's a closed question, but also think about this. But think about that subject in terms of the follow-up. Follow-up emails, always make sure your subject is that little bit more engaging. And yes, if you're doing email marketing, then it's even more important because you're still vying for attention. But when you're sending that email, okay, they'll know who you are because you've already been in communication with them. But just get that subject line right so that they can get back into the mindset of why you're emailing. So it can be just following up. Okay, have you had time to think? I'm sure you have some questions. I always like to put that one in. If I haven't heard from someone, I'm sure you've got some questions. And they'll go, well, no, I haven't got any questions. But that doesn't matter because you've prompted them. Okay, so that's what you need to think about when you're doing those emails. Make sure you've got it right in the subject. On the phone. Phone's really important to me, and in this day and age you can get hold of people obviously through WhatsApp calls. You can even do it now through LinkedIn. You can do LinkedIn calls with their video function, and I actually have just used that. Probably wouldn't recommend it at the moment, but it's a good thing to use. And of course you can just phone people up, you can do Zooms, but when you're doing all of these things now, suddenly getting attention is important to get hold of people. Some people are actually all zoomed out. The last thing they want to do is to go on a Zoom call, and we need to understand that. Other people, and I've done it in the last couple of weeks, they like to go back to the phone. Bit of normality, like to speak to somebody on the phone, because that's another way of doing it. Because sometimes now with Zoom, and we all know how Zoom works, you still do have to prepare. So if you're going onto a Zoom call, you're still going to have to be looking in business attire. So sometimes on the phone with no video, you can get away with that a little bit if you're working from home. Remember, people don't have to go onto Zoom. They might just want to revert to where they feel comfortable, which is on the phone. So when you're doing the phone, and particularly if you're trying to get past gatekeepers, you always need to be, I've been speaking to Dave, I've been speaking to Sarah, yep, they're expecting my call, yeah, it's great, I'm just about to follow them up, just about to do a call with them, whatever it happens to be, but use the phone. And I always say, when you're talking through to, say, reception, or you've got gatekeepers, for me, I love gatekeepers, because if you can get on the right side of them, they are going to be part of your sales process. So always be nice to them, ask them how they are, how can they help you, how can you help them. I'll look at that in future times, and again you can find some really great content on the Business Owner where I go into that in a lot more depth. So let's talk about sending a message through social media. Let's talk about LinkedIn in terms of that attention. So in the attention for LinkedIn, you can send a message. You can just send a message to follow up on what you did. Again, you can use LinkedIn to follow up, to like, to share, to comment on the person that you're following. I do it all the time. People that are in my network, people who are customers, people who are friends, people who are colleagues, people who are at networking mat that I get on really well with, I like to share their stuff because it's good content and it's also really good manners. In this day and age, sometimes manners can disappear, but good manners and actually good sales process is to like people's things, is to share them, is to comment on them, okay? Is to tag people in a really good, strong way. And most of all, do introductions. So for me, I just love following up and I love having a network because you never know when your network's going to be useful to you. I had it recently within my network. Somebody asked for something. It was such a niche thing, but I knew somebody who was in that niche because I've got a really big network and I've worked really hard on my network to get it out there. And I'm not selling to everybody. That's not why I build a network. I do build a network because it will lead to sales, but I build a network because for me, having a network in business is vital because you never know when you need somebody, and never be scared to introduce somebody to somebody else because that works. And I'm going to be looking about that in further weeks and months anyway. Really hope you've enjoyed today. Just take away some of those key things that we worked on. Can you go away and do that? Can you start to get that email sent? Can you make the phone call? Can you use a LinkedIn message? And also, can you extend your network, not just for sales, but to build a network that works for you? Hope you've enjoyed it. Always come and join me on The Business Owner every Friday, where you'll see my follow-up Friday.